Homes Group at eXp Realty. I know that the holidays are seriously right around the corner, and you are probably thinking more about candy canes and Christmas carols than you are about selling your house. But I do want to share 5 common mistakes that sellers make with you to make sure that we do keep your house off the naughty list. I am going to apologize in advance. I'm fighting a cold, and so my brain is not quite working very well tonight. So I'm going to have to refer to my notes a lot. I wrote a lot of this stuff down to make sure I didn't miss anything because it's important stuff. So mistake number 1 is not having a plan. To put your house on the market and make sure that it is in the best possible position, you should really have a plan 90 days prior to selling. That means you want to meet with your agent to discuss any changes or upgrades that maybe you need to make to your house, which could include like new faucets, new light fixtures, maybe new flooring or getting it cleaned, new paint, things like that. Simple staging that can be done prior to listing photos to make sure that your home shows up the best that it can. You also want a clear idea of what the marketing plan is that your agent is going to use. You also want to have a plan for any of the timing, such as getting your house on the market, what day it's going to hit the market, for any price adjustments that might need to be made, and for showings. And believe me, it's a lot easier to have this plan in place and know what's coming down the road versus being reactive to everything that's happening. Mistake number 2 is selling it by yourself. If mistake number 1 wasn't clear enough, I'll go into this just a little bit more for you. When you list your house for sale by owner, you're automatically discounting the price that buyers are willing to pay for it. When you think that you're saving that commission might be worth fewer buyers and a little bit longer time on the market, think again. Many buyers, once realizing that the house is being sold without an agent, will automatically calculate that commission in their head, and they deduct that from the price that you have it listed at. They just understand that value, and that's where they go. They try to really get a deal on the house. So also, when you're putting your house up for sale by owner, you're missing out on that enormous pool of buyers that are on the MLS. Those are the serious buyers, and that is where most of the buyers are hanging out. Those buyers are set up on searches that alert them of any new listings that meet their criteria. So you're really finding the right buyer for your house, the ones that are looking for your house. And lastly, when it comes to valuing your house, you might think that you can head on over to Zillow and get that Zestimate, and that's going to be accurate. But Zillow is just a machine, and it's literally never been inside your house. It doesn't know what changes you've made or any upgrades. And so you could be leaving a huge chunk of money on the table. Also, the reverse of that is true. If you literally have not updated it and you still have avocado green appliances and maybe lime green shag carpet, and Zillow spits out that estimate to you, you could be setting your expectations up really high because you're not going to get that. And that's another key piece of working with an agent. We're in homes every day, and we know what it's going to take to get your house sold. Mistake number 3 is pricing it slightly higher than the price that you want to sell it for. So this is probably the number 1 common mistake that I see sellers make or want to make. Let's say that you want to list your house at $300,000. So you think that maybe listing it at $310,000 or even $325,000 at the end of the day will get you a final sales price around $300,000. The problem with that thinking is that you're pricing it over the market value, and you're going to miss a huge pool of buyers that are actually looking for your house and can afford your house. You create more demand when you price your home at market or slightly below, because the buyers see the value in your home, and you're just reaching a whole bigger pot of buyers. Pricing it slightly higher equals less demand, less interested buyers, more time on the market, and ultimately a lower sales price. Mistake number 4 is skimping on staging. According to the National Association of Realtors, 83% of buyers agents said that it was much easier for their buyers to envision themselves living in that house when the home was staged. And so simple things like swapping out a bright red kitchen for some more neutral colors, maybe moving some big furniture out of the way, out of a living area to make the space look larger, maybe adding some mirrors or changing out some of the decorative accents, also removing those family photos can really just increase the appeal of your home. And most buyers are seeing your home for the first time online, and first impressions matter. So some simple staging can make sure that your listing photos show up well and get those buyers into your house. You're also going to want to touch up any paint if it needs it, and just a whole coat of paint if it needs refreshing. Paint your front door, scrub your baseboards and your floors, and make any repairs to your house that are needed before the home hits the market and buyers are starting to see these things. It really does matter the condition of your home and what buyers are willing to pay for it. Step number 5 is not being flexible. So if you want to sell your house, you're going to have to understand that buyers need to get in there and take a look at it. So you want to be accommodating, and this is a crucial piece. There might be some inconvenient scenarios, but making sure you're finding time to let those buyers in is super important. And we all understand that there are extenuating circumstances where certain days or times just might not work, but make sure that you communicate that with your agents so that they can communicate that with the other agents and make sure that they get their buyers in there and get your home sold. So pricing your home is a combination of an art and a science. Sometimes there may be scenarios where you need to make an adjustment with the price, and having that conversation with your agent ahead of time gives you a plan, and it keeps any surprises at bay. When you're not being willing to be flexible with showings or offerings or adjusting the price, it could result in your home just spending a lot more time on the market, and at the end of the day, you're probably going to end up selling for less than you would have if you would have just initially been flexible about it all. So there you have it. That's today's episode of The Dish with Dawn. I do have a question. I want to know what your biggest questions and concerns are when it comes to buying and selling real estate. So drop your questions or concerns in the comments or send me a direct message. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.